Hello, welcome to our weekly transit update. And before we start, I want to just run through a list of transits that I found in some of my old notes of things. And it's just a few keywords and phrases about certain planets, the transits of. So I'll start with Pluto, the farthest out. So when are transits to Pluto, think Pluto transits pack a punch. Pluto transits pack a punch. Yay, alliteration. There's things are transformed. There's transformation. It also deals with rules and obsession. All right. Neptune transits dreams, imagination, illusion, and delusion. Uranus transits makes other planets function crazily or different or awkward. Saturn transits, order, organization, ambition, and hard work. And I'll also like to add like restriction or diminishing something. Like every month when the moon goes over, goes past Saturn, it's like emotionally shut off or emotionally diminished at that time. And if it's something at a certain degree with you or something, on your Venus, and it could be really emotionally upset, closed off, but normally everybody gets just a little bit of a uh, emotional volume detuned, turned down, lessened. Okay. Jupiter transits, on the other hand, are lucky, are expansive, are growth, are um, optimistic. Mars transits, there's plenty of action, there's energy, and there could be aggressive, or there's aggression there as well. Venus transits, pleasure. It usually makes things easier or lazier. Mercury transits, communication, writing, or speaking. I mean, there's much more to this, but this is just some key things to think of. Moon transits, emotions, desires, and intuitions. Sun transits, attention, creative, and heartful. Okay, so just a little bit to joggle the receptor cells, what we're talking about. And today I have some of the inner transits set. I wanted to go over a couple minor ones that are important. They've been important, but here, let's just start in today. First, start looking for the sun. I mean, I sometimes dive right in and go to things, but it's nice to see the sun, and we can see it's just, a couple days ago we had the vernal or autumnal equinox in the northern hemisphere, and we see the sun at 2 degrees Libra, and the planet Mercury, is always close to the sun. And right now, or you remember it was recently retrograde and it went direct, and now it's getting closer to the sun. It will pass the sun. It'll be Cazimi, or in the heart of the sun, right with the sun, in a few days, and then it'll be on the other side of the sun, um, and then it'll retrograde from there. Okay, so here's that cycle. So if we did it fast, you would see it moving here and then back, and then it would go. Have to have a little car noise, of course. The planets look like that when they retrograde. Okay, so Mercury is going to speed up and be right there. So in communications, also sometimes when something is right in the sun, it's like so fused with that. It doesn't have an identity of its own. It's totally blended. It's blended and mixed. So we'll see this. Maybe it's easier to communicate certain things now because you have the energy of the sun. It's not just Mercury. But anyway, we have things moving from analytical Virgo over to more intelligent or refined Libra. So we see the sun is right there and is closely approaching the south node. And then we see Mercury catching up to that and will be in Libra this week. So we'll have that change. Venus, we can see, has just changed signs. So it is now into its detriment. It's in Scorpio, because we know its ruler is in Taurus, so opposite of the rulership is the detriment. Yeah, so it's like, not her favorite place. It's maybe more, for everybody that that time of year or that time in Venus's orbit that maybe we're thinking orbital, where maybe we want to get to the bottom of things, scorpionic. We want to investigate something. We want to understand. We want more information. Scorpio digs deep for information. They're like the smartest people. Them and Virgos is really smart. They get and hold a lot of information. So anyway, we have that, and all of our feelings, Venus will be there. So that's very interesting. Okay, but now moving on. Oh, and then we see Mars. Let's go refresh ourselves. Look at Mars in Cancer, and we know that that's also not in its best place. It is exalted in Capricorn, so it would be in its fall over here. Not a great place. So Venus and Mars are both in um, they both have got to do crappy stuff right now, according to them. It's like, I don't relate here to this. This is just, they're both not in their favorite places. One's in detriment, one's in fall. But that does challenge us, and with Mars there, it brings on maybe you've got to look at your home, starting your own home, and then our home of wherever we live on this planet, and be, thankful about it. Not necessarily patriotic, um, but thankful and grateful, and then that extends outward. So instead of being a pride, it's just, appreciation. All right, so we can change that energy because Cancer is, protective, it's loving, it's the home, it's the family. So, protecting that, being thankful for it. And then the moon, when now the moon has just moved into Cancer, a great time for starting fall gardens. If you're into that. Um, it's in a water sign and it's in its own sign. Very, very good time to do that. And then it's going to be joining, Mars. So we have the moon Mars energy in Cancer. So that's kind of interesting. So it's to me, because the moon is in its own sign, Mars's energy is being given to the moon, given to that home energy. It's kind of nice. So over the next day, you can feel that. The other stuff we know is, what's going on where they're at, but we want to look at these aspects. These are kind of interesting. This is a square and a half, which is friction. And this has been going on because these are outer planets and they have their cycle. This one, we see Saturn is retrograde and so is Pluto. These two, Saturn um, half square, or I think it's called semi square sesquiquadrate. I think that's the right. It's just a half a square. So it's just think of there's two more that are irritating about us to do with squares. There's a square, and then there's the half square, and then there's the square and a half. So it's just the square is that 90 degrees. So half a square is 45, and the square and a half is 135. It's all different elements of friction. And they do have a cycle. So the first time these made that semi-square was May, when was it? May 6th. So we think back to then and what kind of minor little irritations I'd have to go back um, and look exactly like in the world. I should have, but I have a lot going on, calming in my own life right now. But this next one is the second, is the retrograde one or actually it's today, tomorrow. You can see that they're, if you did the math, it's pretty close. It's at 45 degrees. And then the next one will be the January 26th, 2025. So right after the new year, about a month after Christmas. So just pay attention now, like we've got going on right now. I'm thinking, the world scene, it's pretty precarious. We have Pluto. We are closer to nuclear war. We haven't heard about that in a while than we have been in a long time. I don't know about ever, but because it's been evident on the planet. But it's close, and Saturn is tough. It's um, restriction, limitation. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's some interesting conversation going on here, and I'm moving in tomorrow, so it'll be interesting. Pay attention to Wednesday. news because they'll be exact, but even coming into that tonight, there's a lot of information coming about. This is very interesting. So anyway, this cycle here, we're in the middle of it. So this a little friction, and you just see these kind of malefic energies and they're in this type of conversation, a friction conversation. And then we have another one with Uranus and Mars. Oh, it's like Mars. I'm glad it's happening when Mars is not in its real strong place because this diminishes Mars's aggressive tendencies unless it's reacting, like somebody broke into its home, it's going to be full force, you mother, take this, that kind of Mars. But it's definitely not as arrogant as the Mars at Aries would be if it were so, make it a square, a half a square there. But anyway, it's sudden. It could be rash. It could be upsetting, and there's two of them. So look for something on that level this week. And then we also have. This is what's interesting. Um, there's a sextile between Uranus and Neptune. So there's a nice conversation going on between, a planet that's um, creative, inventive, spontaneous, out of the blue, and another one that's dreamy, elusive, illusion and delusion. So something could be too good to be true. Something may come through. We've got it's that balance, and I think a lot of times it's the degree in your chart. If it's something that's like right there, at like 27 to 28 degrees with you, it would be stronger. And then especially if it's like the sun or Venus or some inner planet or moon or ascendant, I mean it all has its flavor, making that energy to you. So anyway, it's definitely a erratic, um, intense, something out of the blue with Earth maybe and water as well. We've got Neptune still here in water, and then we got this Earth, and there's this sextile between the two, um, heating up there. Interesting. We're in hurricane season, and there's a intense big storm just about to enter into the Gulf also. Hmm. Okay, so is how we come into this week. We're in between moons, and this is where we're at. Okay, so coming into tomorrow, well, let me actually make sure. One other thing, Mercury, which I don't have all these on, there's 27 degrees and is in an Earth sign. It's getting close to leaving Virgo, Earth, trining over to Uranus. I just don't have those turned on. Um, but anyway, this is a trine here. You can see it's Earth, Earth. So we have that interesting intellectual communications, inventive, pulling things out of the blue, maybe creative solutions to stubborn problems or old problems, looking at something in a new light, a new way of solving something. So because we have Virgo, definitely wants that, solving puzzles. I mean, it just will not rest until it's done. And Uranus, it can all of a sudden just out of the blue. So be open to creative solutions to things that might have been stuck for a while. All right. Okay, moving on to Wednesday. We see here, well, what is this? It's showing a Venus inconjunct or quincunx, getting closer to that north node, which is interesting. It's that weird 150-degree energy. So North Node, maybe some of what you want or thought you wanted, you've got to look at a little bit more deeply. You've got to take another view or look at it, maybe look at it in a microscope, to see if that's really what you want and where you're going with that energy. Thank you. That's pretty loud coming in. And then we still see this half half a square, and then we still see this sextile. So the planets are having conversations here. All right, what else do I want to tell you Wednesday? So also what we have is Mercury at 28 opposing Neptune. And I just have the weird aspects turned on right now, so that's why I'm pointing these other ones out. So here's our opposition, 28, and then we have 28 Virgo and Pisces. So, we've got another mercurial, it went through one, Then now it's another, maybe distorted perceptions, maybe some confusing communications. Um, this is what I was saying. It was, coming in with this other one with, when it was when it was trine over here to Uranus, there was our creative solution. But then we also can get a snag. Does it really work? Was I told real information or was it just something, nah, you know? So beware of that a little bit, that there could be some disillusions with the old solutions. Or maybe the disillusion was how you used to think, and now it's clearing up. So it could be a combination of that, depending on what and who you are. Okay, but just put that out there. Okay, what else? Mars, where Mars? Mars and what do we got here? That is almost a square, let's see, a half a square as well, 27 and then maybe 27. Yeah, so we've got another almost half a square going on with Mars and Uranus there. I'll probably come more into it. So anyway, that's combative, anxious, neurotic, and chaotic energy here. So that could be stirring things up. And what else do we have? Mercury coming into as it gets you'll see it's 2852. It's going to make a trine over to Pluto. And then actually we'll have like a nice grand trine here. Let me see over here if it'll show. Uh, didn't do it. It's I got it on the weird angles. But anyway, let me just go back here so we don't make it so muddy. You can see 27 degrees. This is an Earth sign, Taurus. Uranus is there. Would be trining over to 28 degrees, Virgo, Mercury, and that's trining over 29, Earth sign, Capricorn, and then that's back over to 27. So this is a little bit wider orb, but we've got actually a grand trine happening now with these, two outer planets and Mercury. So in earth signs, so there could be some practicality, some down to earth, some let's make it happen energy, Mercury and Virgo. Somebody saying, look, this is how it is. You've been disillusioned. No, it's this way. You've been steered the wrong way. um, it's like maybe that you've been disillusioned here, Neptune, right? This is actually kind of, what is this, a kite? This is actually a kite. Yeah, yeah. So, because these two are trying, and then here's this one opposing. So that would be actually a kite formation. So that's a really interesting formation. And we have it kind of in aspect now, today, tomorrow. And then as Mercury moves out of that, area, it'll stay at 29, and then it'll be at the, late until it actually moves into well, it'll be an out of sign trine when it moves into Libra. So that's interesting. Okay. Well, let's see these things. Let's see what else I want. 26th, Thursday. Okay. Also the Mercury trine Pluto here before it moves too fast. You see Mercury trine Pluto. It's like also diving below the surface for solutions and answers in depth, right? We want to look deeper, right? Pluto, obsessive, deep. What are some of those other keywords I gave you? Um, Packs a punch. Uh, so this is how you work the aspects. Say packs a punch, get transformed, rules obsession, um, and then uh, drill that in. And then Mercury, communications, writing or speaking. Okay, that I think is important. We talked about that. Quincunx. And moving on to Thursday, what else we have going on? Lots. Well, we still got that Pluto, this is early and I got this set for 1:30 in the afternoon. So you can see Mercury just moved out of that, it's now kind of out of that orb. But we have the moon, that's moving fast, but we see it's a sextile. We also, moon is moving fast, but it picks up like, here's this a symbol of a square and a half. This would be the 135 degrees. This would only be for like an hour. So this is interesting. When is this? This is a Thursday afternoon, East Coast, 1:30. So here it might be a mood, So the moon here in Cancer kind of maybe, can get forlorn, and then over to Saturn in Pisces, at this degree, well, see, at the earlier degree, it would be 120, when it was at 14, when it was like right over here by Mars. So the moon, this could be an interesting day. So let's just, just show you interesting how moods and things happen during the day, just because this is a cool one right here. Okay, so we see, let's go back. I want the moon closer to Mars. I should have went further. Okay, so you see the moon. It's like yeah, late Wednesday. Okay, so it's kind of starting there, right? Don't want the moon. Right, by Mars. Okay. See, so Moon and Mars look like wait, late Wednesday. Moon and Mars are together over here in Cancer. All right, so let's just go a day. Okay. So we see that the moon was there, and then it started to make that weird angle over, and it was at 120. So when it was right there, that's the 120 degrees. And then as it moves on, it gets closer to the 135 before it moves out of Cancer, and it makes that square and a half over to Saturn, which I picked up on a little while ago. I don't want to trip all the way through it. But you see how it's like that, that mood could be for how something could be quick, you get that whole presence of that dourness, and then it's right there, and then it passes. Yeah. Okay. So sometimes just wait it out. Breathe, bite your tongue. Get something to drink. Okay, so we had that. We've got Mercury moving. We already moved into that. Mercury moved into by the sun into Libra. Moon moving into Leo by next weekend, which is fiery. Moon is fiery. It's intense. It's loyal. It's on stage. It's boisterous. It's loud. So we've got a little bit of that energy going on. And pretty much everything else is more quiet. And this is just picking up everything. So I don't, there's stuff that's not that significant. All right. So Saturday still, Moon and Leo. It's probably our biggest deal, having that um, look at me kind of attitude, or people that are heavily Leo get that more of a look at me attention type. People might want attention over next weekend, coming in the weekend. All right, now coming into Sunday, let's see, Moon should move into Virgo, and it might now start getting things more done, having the energy, to nitpick at things. It could be even emotionally nitpicking, so watch that too. And then Saturn. Where's Mars? Okay, so we could see these two are moving into a trine. So Saturn and Mars and Saturn encourages us maybe to work together, maybe work hard, empowering us to maybe accomplish our goals. We have that Saturn, and then we have a little bit of structure, with the structure, but it's in ambiguous Pisces, but we get the energy of Mars in Cancer, which is a cardinal sign. So putting some structure over here. Work hard. Near the end, near the weekend, we can use that Leo energy, bringing some enthusiasm to maybe getting some stuff done, getting some things that you wanted to do, but maybe haven't. Yeah. And then coming in Monday, we still pretty much have that Mars trine, Saturn still going on there, right there. See it? I don't have those aspects called up doing the other ones, but and then Mercury Cassini, right there. Mercury is right into the heart of the sun. Look at it. It's like here, it's just 32 minutes. If I were to go a little bit slower, you can see it. Let's do hours. Might have done it. No, it's still there. 37, 41, 46, 50. The sun moves to the next degree, and then it's still chasing it. There we go. Right there. So it's like Monday, 5:30, you can see it. Mercury just passed, just was in the heart of the sun, like kind of all day Monday. So Mercury is fusing with the sun. This is this times of year that it does that. So communication in the sun, maybe being very vocal, very outspoken, shining the light on something. And they're in Libra, that sign of others and balance and making things right and making amends. And here that they're all there by the South Node as well, which is, that point of spiritual giving, appreciation, um, spiritual attainment versus material attainment. So, making peace with some things. This could be very good. Could be very good for the planet. So let's maybe put some energy into that. Some hopefully some peace and enlightenment. Maybe sometimes people see the truth. If truth becomes evident, then things can change instantly. That hundredth monkey effect. Okay, and that's pretty much it coming into next week. So yeah, there's a lot. Hopefully you got something, all those key words. So interesting week. We can get things done. We can have some fun. We can get that Leo moon going. We can, now when it's in Cancer, um, you know, feel that, that's the time of this is the time of the month when the moon is in its own sign. Feel that congruency with your own emotions, with emotions of others, with just maybe feeling itself. All right, we'll talk again next week. Bye for now.